How's everyone doing? Welcome to the final episode of After the After Hours with your boy TraderPrad. The final day of this week is tomorrow going to be a free fall Friday. Now get ready for tomorrow. Powell going on the microphone. Powell going on the microphone again. Get ready for tomorrow. So I do have a watch list ready, but if you guys are ready, hit that like and subscribe. Hit that like and subscribe. Thank you guys for all the love. Thank you guys for all the support. This is your boy TraderPrad. TraderPrad. But if you guys are ready for this show to get started, why don't we dive into the full screen and hit that like and subscribe. Yo, what is up, chat? How's everyone doing? Hopefully everyone's having a wonderful weekend, ready to get started with the next week, which looks like we're getting a little excitement next week. It's the earnings season's back again, usually when banks are coming back with their earnings, which is on this Friday. This Friday, we have all the major banks coming out with their earnings report. I'm thinking maybe the earnings reports are starting to kick back again with the Q1 earnings reports set to come out. So very, very excited to how those numbers come out as the market's really back into the all-time high area again, or still into the all-time high areas. A lot of the tech stocks into good zones where we could possibly find some great trade opportunity off of. And man, there's been some stocks that have been going absolutely crazy recently. The wheat sector, very, very smoking hot. DXYZ squeezing to an insane high. Bitcoin going back up to 70k. Coinbase, Mara, Riot always on the watch list because of that. Even cryptocurrency ETFs, or Bitcoin ETFs I should say, such as BITO, IBIT, they continue to be on the watch list. I already mentioned large cap stocks. So the stocks are still moving around, and we're just more excited about what's in store with everything this week. And that's the point of this show over here today. We're gonna go through all the stocks that are announcing earnings this week. We're gonna go through a couple of the news-based catalyst stocks that might be moving around that we might have to keep our eyes on, and a couple other positions that we might be interested for tomorrow. And we're gonna wrap off the show with a little bit of a YouTube video or two. We had one that we were gonna watch on last Wednesday, if I remember accurately, but that one was about a 40-minute long video. So we're gonna watch that video today on about 1.5 times speed or so. It's the SMB seminar, or should I say the SMB summit. That's what they called it. They called it the SMB Summit, where they talked about how to read the market breadth or understand the market a little bit better if you're a day trader, if you're a swing trader, and kind of help you situate yourselves in trades and so on. So would love to understand what they're talking about that in video with you guys. If you want to hang out till the end of that, that's going to be in the later half of the video. But we're going to start off with talking about all the stocks that are on the watch list for tomorrow, all the things that might be interesting for all of the week over here, especially wrapping off with the banks that are at the end of the week with their earnings reports due. So very, very excited, very eager to this week to get started, even though I have a little bit of a busted knee. My knee on this Saturday, or actually I was supposed to grab this picture. Let me grab this picture for you guys. Give me a second. where is it? It should be in the off topic. There it is. Why'd you go over there? Why did you go up top over there? Let's bring it down over here. Close that. Close this. And now we get to go to the full screen. So let's quickly... I'll move this here instead and we'll go here. Why don't we go to the full screen now? So you guys know how Wednesday, not Wednesday was it? It was on Thursday. On Thursday I had a little bit of a trader meetup to go to. A pretty good event, and let's actually show you guys the picture from that event. Not pictures that I actually took. I wish I actually took some pictures, but I didn't take any, sadly. But a good group of people, amazing group of people. This was the CFO of Centerpoint Canada. This is the compliance guy, if I remember correctly. This guy lives in Vegas. Had some cool conversations with this guy over here. This guy was an interesting person. He's from 7 Points Capital, so got to meet this guy. Another guy from where I live, pretty much in Brampton. This is the CEO of Centerpoint USA. So Centerpoint basically holding a beautiful meetup in Toronto, pretty much where I very close to where I live, allowing us to meet with all the important people up there in that company, and also got to meet with a lot of like-minded people. Got to grow the trading community, the trading pod that we work with. Can't wait for more opportunities like this. But at the end of this opportunity, when TraderPrad, who's right there, was about to go home, jumped the staircase at the subway so I could catch the train before the train departs, and my leg dislocated completely, and it popped right back in at that very same moment. So thankfully not too much damage has happened. My leg is actually almost 90% better right now, which is surprisingly, like, I might just be Wolverine, honestly. I might just be goddamn Wolverine with how quickly my leg is healed and how fast it's improving. I think tomorrow I'll be I know tomorrow I'll be good to go back to work. So I did miss Friday, where DXYZ was squeezing. DXYZ with the monster squeeze on Friday obviously happens on the day that I'm not at work, so that's a pretty much a missed opportunity. But we'll see if an even bigger opportunity comes into play. I mean, a lot of people have compared that DXYZ looks a lot like HKD, exactly when HKD blasted off to $2,000 right over here. So if you kind of pull up that chart, I mean, that looks a lot similar like DXYZ if you look at it before DXYZ blew up, or sorry, before HKD blew up and went to $2,000. That would be something to keep an eye out for. So we'll see what happens over here with the next crazy stock in the sector, the future, which looks currently very goddamn expensive. If you ask me, $59 is insanely expensive for a long term, for a day trade, for a swing trade, however you think about it. The stock opened at $8.
TTING on the streets of NYC nerd face, trust me.
What the hell? Nah, that's cap. That's not me. They cloned me because I'm too...
Open mouth smile, rolling on the floor, laughing tears of joy, tears of joy.
What the hell? Lol, Habibi, so sexy. Thank you. Can't be there, squash time. Aw, Dieter, no problem, bro. Have fun to squash. Don't get hurt like I did, though. Don't get hurt like I did. My leg is absolutely busted when I jumped that staircase. But like I said, I'm all fine now. I'm 90% better. I have that 10% immobility still. 10% immobility. But the stock that does not have immobility at the moment, that one's DXYZ. I mean, what a monster move. We'll see if we get more opportunities over here going forward for all of this week, especially starting tomorrow. Monday starting a brand new week for I almost said October. For April, week 2. Is it week 2 of April? Yeah, should be second week of April. We should have some fun. Oh, my brother's birthday should be coming up soon. That's fun. Awesome. Well, it's actually next week. Next week, Thursday is my brother's birthday. We'll have some fun with that one. Who else is in the chat right now? Ani's in the chat, obviously, with their troll super chats. Yaz over here, thank you for the $2 super chat. Yes, thank you for the was it $1.99 $2 super chat. Ani, thank you. Zam, big party for bro. Let's go, big party. Oh, my brother's party. Right. Big party for bro, indeed. CDP working weekend. Oh, for me? Yeah, I stream on Sundays. You know that now. Come on. You know that now. Get rid of this Robo. Nah, chill, bro. He's good. Streamlabs is good. Okay, at least she spoke today. At least she read my messages out loud today. I'm happy she did that. I was gonna be pretty unhappy if she did not because I was testing her. But did my lights go off? Did my lights go off when the super chats went off? I didn't see the lights go off. That's pretty sad if they did it. But there we go. We just triggered them just in case. Just in case. So obviously DXYZ is on the watch list for all of this week. Here's some other stocks that are going to be on the watch list for tomorrow, most importantly. As I mentioned, that ever so hot, maybe not ever so hot, but currently stupid hot, the wheat sector with German legalization and so on. We haven't seen this type of volume in a long time for these positions. Also this week we have Tilray coming out with their earnings report. I think it's actually tomorrow. Pre-market, yes, tomorrow pre-market. Tilray coming out with their earnings report. With the wheat sector already being so hot, CGC, Tilray, ACB, all of them moving to the upside. We'll be interested to see how Tilray comes out with their report, and does it help themselves, or do they, as always, crumble on their report and fall right back to the downside? So going to be interesting trading opportunities across the board here. So that puts that sector on the watch list. Already mentioned DXYZ. We'll talk about a little bit more in depth for that later on. Disney with the end of their proxy fight. The proxy fight coming to an end. Looks like Disney might be pulling back a little bit more. Maybe the market doesn't actually like the fact that Bob Iger and party will be running Disney again, and they might pull back. We don't know. I'm not gonna guess. I'm just gonna wait for the buying power to show which direction they're leaning on, and I'm gonna join that party. So right now Disney currently is pushing to the downside ever since that proxy fight has been finished. So we're gonna guess that that's the direction that they're gonna currently continue leaning. We're going to keep looking for failure, follow through to the upside, and possibly join the downside. DJT and RDT continue to be on the watch list, but sadly the volume on them are getting wiped out. We've seen some crazy fun days on DJT and on RDDT with intense volatility and crazy volume at the same time. But right now Reddit only doing 2 million shares, dying down on the volume side, the volatility dying down too. However, Reddit's still holding that 44-45 area. So if you know how that number plays, how that number has been playing out ever since the IPO, you know that there's going to be possibly some good long opportunities there. So if you're watching it off the open tomorrow, Reddit could be something to keep your eyes peeled at $44 and $45 area. So keep that on your watch list. EDR is a stock that's getting bought out for $27.50, and it's been making a little bit of a move ever since that day to the higher side and higher side. So waiting to see how the stock behaves into $27 and $27.50 if we ever get there. But that's just a trade for myself, a buyout trade, nothing really you guys need to worry about. But let's go hit that Prastradamus emoji on NKE. I mean, there we go. Finally, Nike breaking down, going into that 52-week low, coming into play, $88.88, exactly Friday's low, and $88.88 is exactly around that area where the stock previously in the last two earnings report ticked around the 52-week low. So let's see how the stock behaves into this price point. Do we see some buying coming in? Do we see some selling through that low, and a continuation through the downside over here for NKE? So now NKE pulling into a price point that might be interesting, and same with Lululemon pulling right back into its 52-week low. Nope, not really 52-week low, sorry, but it's pulling back into October 2023 areas. You could even say June 2023 low coming into play, and very soon we might just pull back into the June 2023 earnings low, all the way into 326 bottom over here on Lululemon getting absolutely wiped out. It did hold 385 a little bit after the earnings report, but even before it got to reject off the earnings anchor VWAP, a bigger continuation to the downside. Lululemon Might not be a day trade, but I'll keep on watching it. If there's a big volume spike through this area to the downside, maybe a continuation down, but maybe a big volume spike over here to give us a little bit of a capitulation long or something. But you can't expect capitulation long on LULU because there's going to be not much volume to begin with at all. So I'll be watching it. If it can hold this current bottom area that we have mapped out, maybe something to keep an eye out for. FTX pulling back also, and now we're waiting to see how the stock behaves at this double top area. It's kind of showing a little bit of a support right before that double top, but I think we got a nice little break below that double top all the way into that gap close of 265. So you're basically watching 275 to 265 over here on FTX to see what happens. And then the next few stocks are just basically our regular base stocks that we always have on the watch list, which is the cryptocurrencies, the semiconductors, the large cap stocks. I'm not really going to dive too much deeper into those, just going to talk about how Bitcoin making a beautiful rally right back into this 80,000 into the 60,000 70,000 area. So I'm still bouncing between 59 60 and between 73 and 70 at the moment. You can also see it has a little bit of a not really a symmetrical triangle, but some sort of a pennant. You know, maybe you could call it a symmetrical triangle. I will call it a symmetrical triangle. I really don't give a shit. I'll call it a symmetrical kind of triangle. You can even call it this triangle over here. So it depends on what type of triangle you have it mapped out at the moment. So you have a nice little compression kind of maybe coming into play. You got sellers moving down, you got buyers moving up. Eventually one side's going to get resoluted, and we're going to see if the resolution is going to come to the upside or to the downside, and we're going to use that catalyst to maybe give us a play on the overall stocks that we just mentioned not too long ago, which is your cryptocurrency basket stocks, Coinbase, BTC, GBTC, sorry, BITO, IBIT, and so on. Last but not least, the semiconductor basket, SOXX. Is that what people used to? I mean, this one does has decent volume, but this one is a little more pricey than SMH. Is that correct? SMH does have a lot more volume, but it's the same price. It's just the same price basically, but SMH has a lot more volume. They're both semiconductor ETFs, but I think everyone prefers those 3 times leverage ETFs, which always have a lot more volume, and they're a lot more liquid. They're also a lot less price to trade with, so people can basically push their buying power harder on this position. So SOXL, the semiconductor ETF, currently cooling off its jets with Nvidia hanging around near 900, I guess pulling below 900 sadly, but Nvidia around still 900, with AMD mad under 185. AMD selling off pretty hard on Friday. That was sad to watch at the very least, because I mean, you guys know how much I love AMD, but I guess on Wednesday itself, I said, you know, AMD has not really tested this lower anchored VWAP yet. So if that's the case, we could see that come into play, and it did come into play on Friday. You're seeing this latest earnings anchored VWAP now being a rejection. When it flattens out, it's pretty much a change in characteristics. So we're seeing that change in characteristics come into play, and now the previous earnings anchored VWAP coming into question very soon. We might even come in to see maybe Monday. We might even see that tomorrow on AMD, maybe more downside. So be careful with the semiconductor industry. I mean, Nvidia clearly under 900 and struggling to get back above 900 looks like. So that's a little bit of a barrier for Nvidia. SMCI, where is that position? SMCI clearly under 1,000, and you can see how I'm guessing somewhere around here was the S&P 500 ad. I forget what day was the S&P 500 ad. However, now we are clearly under and pulling back to the downside over here on SMCI. Maybe a short through 900 would be something to keep an eye out for, but nah, the stock is scary to even watch out for. The spread's like sometimes $5, so be careful if you're even thinking about touching SMCI. In terms of the semiconductor sector, Intel is something that you might want to keep an eye out for. Intel came out with the bad news, I think losing what, $7 billion or so. So Intel going to the downside, recently cracking that significant $40 area again. So pulling back under 40 over here. If for any reason Intel pulls back into $40 tomorrow and rejects $40, there's going to be a beautiful trade opportunity. I'm just going to mark in $40 real quick for myself to keep an eye out for on Intel. On Nike, I'm gonna color it because I know I want to see how that one plays out. I want to see how this one plays out. I want to see how we'll leave those uncolored. We will color this one real quick, color that orange. Don't care about that. Ooh, we got colors glowing. What's that? Lily's grandma with $10. Thank you, Lily's grandma. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Hopefully you're having a wonderful Sunday night sermon going on over here from your boy TraderPrad. We're talking about stocks that might be interesting for tomorrow right now, but we'll also get ready for all of this week very soon. Right now we're at Intel. Micron's making a little bit of a move too. Micron making another all-time high on Friday and then sadly getting rejected right back down to the south side. I think Micron's still pretty bullish, honestly. Micron's gearing up to be one of the big contenders over here in the semiconductor sector. So keep an eye out on Micron. ARM pulling back quite decently. I'm not really interested in keeping an ARM as much as I am keeping an eye out for maybe TSM with their whole earthquake sector coming into play, or not earthquake sector, earthquake scare coming into play as a trade opportunity. Also over here on TSM, maybe AMD taking a little bit of a hit because of all that too. So the semiconductor industry always on play. Now the large cap Magnificent 7, out of the large cap Magnificent 7, I think the most important stock out of those ones is most likely going to be Google starting tomorrow. Google is going to have their AI conference, their 3-day AI conference, where they're going to show up on, talk about Gemini, talk about AI predictive usage and so on. So we're gonna see how this time their Gemini has improved than last time, because we know what happened last time when their Gemini did something. So we're watching Google pretty carefully over here. And along with Google, obviously, if they're doing an AI 3-day conference, they're going to probably talk about the companies and the chips and the softwares that they're using. Most likely you'll hear a lot about NVIDIA. Most likely we'll hear a little bit about the partnership with Apple. Most likely we'll hear a little bit about some of the AI companies that they bought out recently. Can't remember what they bought out recently or what they partnered with recently. I'm drawing a blank, but if you get the idea, they're gonna, put some companies on blast, and they're gonna move some companies around just by maybe saying their names out loud. So we're gonna be watching those conferences as they come out, and that's gonna be starting on Tuesday. That's pretty much the watch list for tomorrow. Let's quickly talk about the market. The market should be open right now, as we did stream at 6 o'clock. The market's open at 6:21 p.m. Sorry, they open at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So they've been open for 21 minutes at the moment. Let's go see if the markets are up or down from where we left off. Looks like so far we just did nothing. No real volume taking place. I mean, these circles look very, very little. I'm not really seeing a lot of size on the book either. Very, very little circles, not much volume taking place. I guess, they're letting someone actually show up and make a decision before people actually make a decision. Good. People are changing. I like that. Hey, look at that. I actually renewed my subscription. I should now be, a 2-month subscription? 3-month subscription? I forget. How do we check? I'm not a new member. I just renewed my membership. That's a liar. I should be like a 3-month subscription at least. Anyways, the market right now not really doing too much. It's the S&P 500. Let's just say just flat, trading to the sideways. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ looking a little bit more busy. What in the hell am I looking over there? Not sure what I'm looking over there, but that looks like a big print just took place not too long ago. Maybe right off the open. That was the opening print maybe. Overall, though, the market is pushing to the downside. The NASDAQ pushed down, and then now we're trading a little bit lower than where we opened originally. So NASDAQ trading a little bit more south upside so far, and maybe that is the story. Now look, Thursday was a big sell-off. Friday was a decent long day. Friday, as you guys can see right here, QQQ ended up 1.18%, S&P 500 ended up 1.04%, IWM ended up 0.33%, IWM being your small cap Russell 2000 ETF. So overall, all three ETFs ended up compared to where Friday closed, and compared to where Thursday closed, and Thursday was a pretty big red day on the market overall. So what does the market have in store now? I mean, I don't expect the market to take out last week's low tomorrow if we do sell back. So I think there's some possible longs to watch there into last week's low for the QQQ. I think the market's actually waking up right now, honestly, for some amazing trading opportunities. So my main focus tomorrow might just be the QQQ and the S&P 500. So let me quickly zoom in real quick and show you what I'm looking out for on play tomorrow. Something like this: if the market opens up somewhere down over here and we break down through here, pull back and show me rejection again, I will try to take the breakout with a tight little stop. I'll monkey in and monkey out, as my manager calls it, for a quick little trade opportunity to see if I can catch that quick momentum swing. But then no, I should not call it momentum swing, the momentum entry for a quick little momentum scalp. But later on, if it pulls back and shows me rejection right around last week's low still, on the pullback, then I would look for a real trade over here, for a swing trade idea, even though it's a day trade, for a swing trade idea, thinking that whoever gets in short somewhere over here with the stop either above here or somewhere above this little peak high, they would be thinking to hold their position into the next day, into the next few days as a swing trade. So I want to join that big money, that big trade idea mindset with the day trade type of a setup, obviously, but I'm using a swing type of opportunity over here to see if I can join an even bigger move, taking off below that low and joining for a big ride on the market to the downside. But at the same time, as I just said not too long ago, I don't really seeing this area breaking too often tomorrow. So if that does not break, that gives you a beautiful long to play off. If you look for this long to trap some areas, trap some shorts over here, and when those shorts are trapped, you get a nice little long once they start having to look for a cover, look for their exit stage left on the QQQs, on the S&P 500, and even maybe on the IWMs. So waiting to see how we trade right around this last week low. If either of these markets are able to actually trade under their last week's low, I think there could open up some opportunities for some big shorts for us to play with, especially throughout the week over here. So keep your eyes peeled, especially with how the market said they only have two rate cuts projected now. So only 2 rate cuts projected coming up, compared to what JP Morgan expected 6 rate cuts. So not as many rate cuts that we think we're gonna get. ECB also is coming out with their interest rate decisions, I think this Thursday. ECB comes out with their rate decision, so that will be pretty interesting to see how they decide. Obviously, their inflation battle is a little bit more higher. They're not sure if they're still battling with their whole higher electricity costs and so on, with everything that they were struggling with not too long ago. But ECB, we'll keep a close watch with how they decide, because the market could move a little bit on those decisions also. I think this is actually a good moment to segue into all the posts from Evan. So here's Evan's post. He posts amazing posts every single week to get ready for the stock market, kind of synopsis on day by day. Sometimes he kind of groups 2 days in together in case there's not enough stuff for one day. So here's Monday. So Monday you're looking at, as I already said, some of the weed stocks, some of the other positions that might be based on relative strength index scanners or so on. He kind of highlights those. I'm not really too interested about those for me. Couple other positions over here that he mentions. Intel, it holds this Intel Vision event in Phoenix, Arizona. This year's event has them bringing AI everywhere, so we'll see how that event helps them out a little bit. But we've already seen how that one's kind of getting beat up. Tomorrow, I forget, is the eclipse. Tomorrow is a total solar eclipse coming into play, and especially for us Canadians over here, or should I say us Torontonians, it is right in our path. Let's actually go Google that. 2024 eclipse path. Aww, I guess we get hit by it at the very least. Come on, give me Canada, bro. I guess I'm like right here somewhere. Yeah, we don't really get, it's not exactly over us, but this is the total eclipse path, I guess. The path that you see. That's a pretty weird path. Ooh. So this is the total eclipse path. And yeah, I won't really get hit by it, but we will be pretty close to it. How come it only shows me US? This is pretty stupid. You should show even Canada if it's in Canada, you assholes. But there was a cool graphic that shows that Airbnb going into tomorrow, the amount of Airbnbs booked in this whole path line was just like the number of houses booked just keeps going up and rapid going into today and then dies off right after tomorrow. It's as right into this pathway too. It's kind of cool. So I'm excited to see. I mean, even though I'm not exactly in this between these two lines, I'm right here in the offside. I should still be able to see some craziness going on. The animals should start acting crazy because they usually depend on the sunlight and the daytime and so on. So they should start acting a little crazy. That'll be wild to see. For those of you who are interested in all that craziness, you know, make sure you're using proper tools to watch the sun. There's some craziness that you could lose your eyes if you're watching the sun without a proper you will see a partial eclipse. Click the penumbra. What the hell? Penumbra? Oh, okay. Penumbra. Hey, there you go. So everybody in this sees the penumbra. Is this the only people in the world who see the eclipse? Nobody else in the world sees the eclipse tomorrow? That's so sad. That's so sad that nobody else gets to see it except for Mexico. A little bit of US and a little bit of Canada. That's it. Yeah, this is a fake eclipse, dude. This might just be that movie, or not movie. What's that TV show? Three Body Problems, where a fake eye gets created by the aliens in the sky, and so on. But this might just be a fake eye being created by the aliens, and the government's just telling us that it's a total eclipse. Yeah, I'm not sure about this. You're telling me the sun gets covered totally for what? 2 hours? For how long does it happen? An hour? Even if it happens for 15 minutes. You're telling me the whole sun gets covered for 15 minutes and the only people who see it are the North Americans? I don't know about it, bro. I don't know about it. It's nighttime on the other side, bro. Nah, there's got to be more people who can see the sun when we have the sun. That's just not how it's possible. All right? That's crazy. There is Only a 12-hour difference. Between, wait, how long does it take to get to Japan? $13-hour ride. Okay? And you're telling me they can't see at least a partial of the eclipse? Come on, that's bullshit. I'm not buying any of this. This is a bullshit eclipse. Anyways, tomorrow with the eclipse, we got some possible stocks that can move around apparently because they got some deals. Krispy Kreme. Apparently Krispy Kreme also has a partnership with McDonald's now. McDonald's, was it McDonald's? I think it was McDonald's. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. I think it was McDonald's. They have a partnership with McDonald's too to have their donuts being sold everywhere. So that's interesting. I haven't had a Krispy Kreme donut in so long. I would love to have the Krispy Kreme donut. Just thinking about it, making my mouth water. Southwest Airlines. Oh, my leg. LUV. Delta Airlines are some of the promotions that have tied buzz over the eclipse. Well, I just tried to fold my leg and that kind of hurt. I apologize. A couple other positions over here. A little bit of biotech stock. We already talked about Intel. That's everything Monday. Tuesday, Tilray with their earnings pre-market. I mentioned that to you guys already. Couple other stocks over here along with the Tilray position. Nasdaq will release its latest short interest data. So for your GME AMC monkeys, you might want to be watching this one because you might be interested to see what's happening over there. But for everyone else, we care about the Google Cloud Next event, which will begin on Tuesday, which will show off their AI-powered assistant Gemini Generative AI Studio AI platform tools during the whole event. Other earnings to watch out for, which is Delta, APLD, Benjamin Yo should know this company. Rent, RENT, a couple other companies over here announcing earnings. I think these ones are ones after hours on Tuesday or pre-market Wednesday. I forget which ones exactly, but we'll talk about that more. Dolby Studios, Dolby Laboratories, demo in their theater industry of their combined Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos experience here at the Caesars Palace. So more, I guess, another conference. DocuSign will hold its 2-day Momentum 24 DocuSign conference. KKR, forget what KKR is again. We'll hold the Investor Day event. Consumer Price Report March will be released on 8:30 on Wednesday. Chicago Federal Reserve Bank Goolsbee will participate in a panel before the Social Financial Institute on Wednesday. The Federal Reserve released the minutes. Ooh, we got FOMC minutes coming up this week. That's interesting. That's also fun. So Wednesday, FOMC minutes. Costco will release its March sales report on post-market Wednesday also. So Tuesday, interesting. Wednesday, interesting. Monday, not so interesting. But still, a couple positions on the watch list which are at amazing levels, which might just make it fun on Monday too. But usually Monday people blow their load because they're way too excited to trade the market. So you want to make sure that you don't blow your load on Monday. You make sure that you apply risk management, stay safe, and find the right opportunities to put your risk into. And then the next opportunities when they show up on Tuesday, because we clearly see Tuesdays there's opportunities that are lining up. On Wednesdays there's opportunities that are lining up, especially with FOMC minutes. Make sure that's where you're getting ready to blow your load, okay? Make sure you time it. Otherwise, you might end up with a baby. OPEC will come out with this monthly oil reports, obviously, all day with Thursday, OPEC numbers. Friday, a couple other stocks reporting earnings. Oh, yeah, that's the bank stocks, JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, BlackRock, Citigroup. So the big banks coming out their earnings report. Usually when the banks come out, that's the starter of the earnings for all other companies. So things should start getting exciting, very, very fun. United States Steel. I can't talk today, chat. My goodness. United States Steel will hold an extraordinary shareholder meeting on a buyout by Nippon Steel. I thought that one already got canceled, but I guess, like I said, there's still way too much going on about this company and the buyout that we still got to keep an eye out for. In case the deal actually goes through, there could be a big trade there. And even if the deal doesn't go through, there could be even bigger trade opportunities. So that one's on Friday for you buyout traders. The initial reading for the Michigan consumer number also on Friday. San Francisco Federal Reserve Bank President Mary Daly will speak at a fintech conference. Pretty sure that one's not important at all. So this is everything that's in store on throughout this week. Looks like a lot of things on Tuesday, a lot of things on Wednesday, a little bit of excitement on Thursday, and then Friday to wrap off, we got the banks kick off the earnings season. So that's going to be a lot of fun this week. Like I said, Monday, you don't need to blow your load. Just be a little careful. Something about an IPO lockup period. Ooh, Birkenstock. IPO lockup period expires on block shares of Birkenstock. The footwear company IPO priced in at $46 per share, traded as high as $55 at the time of publication. IPO stock now trading at $42.66. BIRK lockup period expires when again? Was that tomorrow? It is. The Burke IPO lockup period expires tomorrow. Here's the stock right now. And usually when a stock's IPO expiry happens, they get either a little bit sold off or the bottoms that the stock is obligated to hold don't hold so well, so you get to see some good short opportunities come into play as people who might have had the stock at what, $5 per share, $10 per share when the stock was private, now get to offload their positions for a lot of profits at $40 per share, $50 per share. They might look for some of that exit, lock in some of that profits, right? So you want to watch out if that exit liquidity hits the tape. So Birkenstock now gets put in the watch list over here. A stock that actually hasn't been traded at all for a long time. You can see how on the IPO day we brought in about 14 million shares and then it just kind of died down. Someday over here we brought in 5 million shares. Looks like that was the earnings, and then we died down. So tomorrow, if there is a spike in volume, that will make it interesting, but without that spike, Burke might just be another dead fish tomorrow. That might not be interesting at all. So we'll see what happens. Let me quickly grab Birkenstock's ATR, which should be less than 50 cents probably now. Maybe $1.80. Oh, I was joking. Maybe I saw it in time and I guessed it. I don't know how that happened. That's crazy. All right, anyways, $1.80 for Birkenstock. Their ATR so far, which is pretty interesting. Their volume on Friday was 1 million shares. I guess people were expecting that IPO lockup period to come into play and they were getting prepared for that move to the downside. So Birkenstock Monday, good thing that we caught that off of a quick read. Where did that go? Right there, IPO lockup period. Good thing we caught that. Almost missed that one, and we put that one in the watch list. That is all things majorly important for coming up all this week, and that's basically all things that we will talk about throughout this week. So make sure you tune in for each of those days for the specific stock conversations. Now, in terms of the earnings board this week, we got nothing really tomorrow. A dead earnings board, Gorilla Technology, that's grrr. So those of you know who have traded grrr, you might be interested in that position over there, but nothing really interesting for me on that side. Tilray, the weed sector, coming out with the earnings report tomorrow. A couple other positions along with it. WD-40 in the after hours Tuesday. We'll talk about that on Tuesday. Usually gives you some good trading opportunities. Delta, Applied Blockchain, and Thera Technologies, all Wednesday pre-market. Rent the Runway, Rent, a pretty good trade opportunity sometimes on Rent. Maybe we see something over there on Wednesday. We'll talk about it. Thursday, Constellation Brands, your partners behind I forget what Constellation Brands does again. I know they do alcohol and cigarettes. They own CGC a little bit. I forget if they did or not. But they're behind alcohol and cigarettes for sure, if I remember correctly. Anyways, CarMax, KMX, Lovesac. So a lot of companies over here coming out with their earnings on Thursday pre-market. Nothing really on the after the hours. That's surprising. But the most important thing is Friday, JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, Citibank, even BlackRock coming with their earnings on Friday. That should be the Kickstarter, the big catalyst for ERs to start getting posted again. So let's get excited for that one, ladies and gentlemen. It's gonna be very fun with interest rates being talked about. Only 2 with earnings reports coming out. It will be fun to see how banks will be getting ready for the next half of this year, or maybe not next half, or the next 3 quarters of the year that we have left in the market. So pretty exciting opportunities, I think, are opening up, and it's time to really apply whatever we've learned in this last quarter and really size up and maximize this next quarter when the big opportunities show up. So let's get ready to rumble, as the legend Michael Buffer. Yes, Michael Buffer. I almost called him Bruce Buffer. No, the legend Michael Buffer says, let's get ready to rumble. That's pretty much all in store for all this week and our watch list for tomorrow. I'm not really going to worry about putting too many levels out right now. I'll just do that on my own spare time, or maybe tomorrow in pre-market, based on what stocks are active in pre-market, what stocks are moving out, and what stocks are moving around. And for those of you who are my Patreon subscribers, you guys will get that watch list sent out to you right away, first thing pre-market, before 9:30. Trust me, I promise you will get it. Okay, but we do have a couple things other than that in store for tonight, which is watching a couple videos from SMB Capital. Trying to find the videos right now, if I can find all the videos right now. Are these the ones? That's it. I think these are the ones. Yes. So we have a couple videos over here. One of them is a 6-minute video. The other one is a 44-minute video. Now, apparently this one is more about just market depth, talking about how to read a couple indicators about the market, how to read a couple, like just looking at the NASDAQ market, for example. Yeah, you see buying coming in. Yeah, you see selling coming in. But there's a couple other tools that you could use, such as the tick indicator, the advancing and decliners indicator, and so on, that could help you kind of help situate yourself in a better market long or a better market short. Maybe help you cut those longs better and book your profits in a much faster way, instead of giving it a bigger stop than it needed. So they talk about all that market depth a little bit, using tools based and so on. But this 44-minute long video might bore some of you guys, so we might have to watch this at like 1.5 or maybe even 2. But why don't we start off this right now at the 6-minute video first, and we'll see what we learn from this one. And for that, we're gonna have to sadly turn off Dieter's amazing music. Dieter, we love your music. I know you're at squash right now. You're amazing, Dieter. Thank you for your music as always. But let's go watch this beautiful video from SMB Capital right now, chat. And I have to turn off that sound, mute my headphones before I go deaf, and then turn it back a little bit louder. Let's actually look at the chat. What's the chat talking about? It also intersects with the last eclipse that had the earthquakes after. Ooh. Actually, doesn't it happen at like 4 p.m. Eastern? Because that's during when people will be driving home. That'd be pretty insane. Fun fact, an engine fell out of a Boeing plane earlier today. No freaking way. What?
All right, new video of an engine cover that fell off a Boeing 737 operated by Southwest Airlines during takeoff in Denver last night. Listen to the pilot and air traffic control working together to land the Houston-bound plane safely back at Denver International Airport.
3695, no problem. Fly present heading. Do you need to run checklist? Yeah, we're going to need some time. For now, everything's okay. And we don't even know the nature of it, but apparently several passengers and flight attendants heard something loud hit the wing, so we're just going
maybe it was
to
a
take
bird.
our time, get set up, and be ready to go. Thank you.
Alpha 3695, no problem. You can expect vectors. Just keep me advised of the situation.
Oh, maybe it was a bird. Maybe it was an actual thing.
I assume we'll probably do that anyways.
Yeah, I'll get back to you. Stand by.
I mean, pretty extraordinary, right? The images you're seeing there while they're taxiing for takeoff, presumably, because we heard our Pete Muntean earlier say that the plane actually made it about 10,000 feet in the air before it was able to turn around and then did land safely there. In a statement to CNN, Southwest Airlines apologizes for the inconvenience, but said their highest priority is the safety of their customers. The FAA is investigating the incident, which is the latest in a string of issues to plague Boeing aircraft.
This looks pretty good.
Home burglaries.
They hit the jackpot.
I mean, it could have. I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. Okay, there's been a time before where you know, I'm a big Mayday watcher. I don't know if you guys know what Mayday is. It used to be on a show on Discovery Channel. I'm not sure if still is, but Mayday, duck hitting plane. Was it Sully? Maybe it was Sully. No. Oh, this was a pretty crazy one too. I don't know if you guys seen this, but there was a guy who fires a rocket missile straight out at the airplane for the, and it hits the airplane that's taking off. This one's a pretty crazy documentary. I might want to save this to watch it later tonight after I get off. These are pretty cool documentaries. I'm gonna watch these again. I haven't watched these in a long time. If you guys haven't, you guys should check them out. But anyways, I think it was Captain Sully.
Well, you know the only way.
This might DMCA me to play in a movie clip right now. But the idea is the plane hits by, if I remember correctly, a bunch of birds. The engine blows up, and if I don't remember if all the people live successfully. Maybe if it was Sully's airplane, then clearly all the people do live successfully. So over there, I'm guessing being a short here. No, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt that it was a bird. It was a bird strike. Giving them the benefit of the doubt. Engines have blown up before because of bird strike. But if it's worse than a bird strike, then obviously Boeing's always on the watch. Boeing, and especially LUV with the whole Eclipse flight paths and so on deals that are going around, then they might be even more of a trouble. So keep a watch out on LUV, keep a watch out on Boeing 100% without fail. But it's time to watch a movie, ladies and gentlemen. Time to watch a movie. But I need to get more water because my mouth's a little dry. So I'm going to play some music for you guys. And I'll be right back. You guys see my knee brace, dude? I'm getting old, chat. I'm getting old. That's my problem. I need to remember that I'm not stupid 15 years old anymore. I'm damn near 30 years old and I can't be jumping staircases like that. Stupid, Brad. Stupid.
If you like immediate gratification, breaking news trades are for you. We have spent the past couple of years building out a breaking news team on our desk.
Ooh.
These are traders who are totally focused on making trading decisions based on fresh news that occur during market hours. Many years ago, in my first trading job, part of my responsibilities was to monitor our news machine, and if I saw something that I thought was important and can move a stock, I would shout it out on our desk. What I discovered was that the vast majority of stories aren't important. What is important is understanding which type of news more broadly will move a company's stock, and occasionally, if you have a good understanding of an individual story, you can identify a good risk-reward trade as well. Broadly speaking, if a company is being investigated by the DOJ or the FBI raids their offices, this is bad, and you would immediately see the stock tick lower. If a company has a merger agreement in place to be acquired and the FTC announces they are suing to block the deal, that would also cause the company's stock to move lower. Or even worse, if a court has ruled in the government's favor, officially blocking the merger. Our breaking news team is tracking open court cases related to mergers, upcoming FDA decisions, and other known events, so they're prepared to act quickly when a news story hits the tape. This is a scenario where a breaking news trader is most aggressive. They know exactly what information they're looking for, and they have a good idea of how the stock should respond. One recent example is a few months ago, there was an open court case on the JetBlue.
This could be something with X. X is happening very soon.
Ruled the deal could not go through. Immediately, our breaking news traders were aggressively shorting Spirit. In fact, S&P likely removed most of the liquidity from the market in the initial $1 to $2 drop of the stock. Here's what it looked like. A quick drop down, the stock gets halted, it opens down 30%, stock is halted, opens down another 20%, quick, large chop. It's a great example of proper preparation leading to a six-figure opportunity with very little risk. Now I'd like to give you an example of an unexpected news trade about Tesla and how I viewed the opportunity. Reuters reported that Tesla had canceled their planned compact car project and were now focused on robo-taxis. Now, I happen to follow Tesla very closely as a shareholder, so I understood the implications of this story immediately. The market is currently concerned about Tesla's growth prospects, and to alleviate this concern, Tesla has communicated that they plan to release a $25,000 compact car in the second half of 2025. If Tesla had canceled those plans, it would make many institutions nervous, and they would knee-jerk sell shares, causing a quick drop. In fact, that's what happens. So the news story breaks, many traders on our desk start to get short. Here's what it looked like. As someone who follows Tesla closely, I'm aware of Reuters' history with respect to releasing news stories on Tesla that turn out to be false. So I tweeted my skepticism on X, and as Tesla sold off to the March low in about 15 minutes, I started to buy some shares.
Wow.
But for me to get very aggressively long, I wanted a denial of the story from Elon Musk. Now, Musk recently has been on Twitter, now called X, all of the time. And the odds of him issuing a denial on the story seemed reasonably high to me. And in fact, he responded on X, the story was false. And as Tesla quickly moved back above 163, I bought more shares. I loudly called this out on our desk, sharing important trading information that Tesla could retrace back to 168, which had been the morning support and would be a good spot to exit the trade. If you have any questions about breaking news trades in general, or more specifically the trades that I discussed, please let me know in the comments.
So you're an active trader.
That's
not
crazy.
doing as well as you want. Not doing as well as you deserve. And you just
Is this
can't
all
figure
just
out
an advertisement?
You can't become
the next
profitable
2.5
no matter how hard
minutes?
you try.
God damn.
Well, let me show you why. This training, in fact,
Whoa, holy SMB, guys. Come on. The next 2.5 minutes is just an ad. All right. I guess over here he was just specifically talking about how they trade news events. So if the news comes out negative, you join the downside. If the news comes out positive, you join the upside. But there might be a little bit more nuance to the trade. You know, you might want to think about how you look for an entry. You want to think about maybe you could add to the breakout, but you see after it breaks below maybe these two resistance support lines he's had. I guess you can call them support over here. When they broke below the support, pull back, not able to get above here, rejecting constantly under 168 or 167, giving you a short with a tight stop and ability to ride it to the downside, giving you a long somewhere over here, ability to put a stop right under 160, then looking for that setup to join along with the storyline that's coming out, along with the news line that's coming out. He just talked about the JetBlue merger deal trade that they just traded not too long ago, the JetBlue, or even the Kroger and the Albertson. X is coming out with something like that very soon. I think it might be, when is X? That's Friday. So we might see some opportunity like that on Friday, where a big expansion to the upside or a big move to the downside could get set up for a trade on X itself. So keep watch on that stock going into Friday. So good opportunity over here. But how actually were you able to catch these moves if you don't have scanners like Trade Ideas? Use code PRAD15 at checkout on amazing software known as Trade Ideas, link right below in description. Go check it out. So you could maybe set up a scanner to see stocks that are moving rapidly in a minute by minute period, right? Or a 5-minute period or whatever. Or you could have a halt scanner that only tracks for halts. For example, when Save, was it Save? Save, when the deal fell through, it probably halted to the downside. It did, and the halt scanner will pick it up. You pull it up on the halt scanner, you pull up the news, you look at the news, you understand the news, and then you can pull up a trade from there, or you can look for a trade from there, and so on. Or like I said, you could look for a volume by tick setup by going on that. You can see if a stock brings in crazy amount of volume coming in, that scanner picks it up and pulls it up, and so on. You could also have amazing tools that actually show you the latest news coming in as the stocks are moving throughout the day. I use Benzinga for that. Use the link down below in the description. Benzinga shows you news right as the latest news comes in from the market throughout the day. So you'll find it right at the top of the list. Bang! The stock is moving. I look over to my second screen. It's right at the top of the list there. I click on it. I see the news. I even also have Twitter. Amazing resource. Go to X. If you don't have X Pro, then you might not have this. So I will apologize for that. But X Pro, I have up all my news resources set up. Benzinga, Financial Juice, Walter Bloomberg, Zero Hedge. I quickly look over to my second screen. Either I see it on my Benzinga news app itself, which is on my other monitor on my second screen, or it's over here on the Twitter Pro app, where you'll see the news by the news articles itself. Usually either Walter Bloomberg has it, or Benzinga or Financial Juice has it on their Twitter right away, and I'm able to get the news. Bang! I find the news, I find the trade, I trade the trade. So you got to be ready for those type of opportunities. And looks like they have some sort of a scanner and a trading system set up for it, a news type system for a trade. This could help for intraday momentum scalps, a quick scalp, in and out, quick scalp, in and out, right? Beautiful opportunities usually set up over here. So not a bad idea, but you gotta have those tools at your in your tool shed to be able to do it. You know, when you want to cut the grass, you want to have the grass mowing lawn, whatever. When you want to water it, you gotta have a hose, or you gotta have a bucket of water. So you gotta have the right tool for the right job. And if you don't, you will always be left behind, because you gotta remember, these news articles, when they hit the news wire, sadly, when they come into Twitter, or by the time they come into Benzinga, it's already too late. These news articles, they have to be written up. They have to be approved. They have to be submitted. And in that meantime process, people already are making the decision and they're already pushing buttons around. That's why scanners such as Trade Ideas help you find the stock that's moving around. While they're moving around, it gives you time to go around, look for those news articles, and once you find those news articles, then you can look for that trading opportunity off these stocks. So that's how it basically works for us, at least at our prop firm. So a quick little idea on how you can help yourselves, and those amazing tools that help me do this are right down below in the description. Go check them out. And that video was that. Now, let's watch this 44-minute long video. Why couldn't they have made it like 2 parts? Anyways, let's watch this 44-minute long video. We're going to have fun for the next hour on the stream here. For those of you who want to call it a day because you watched the video already, or because you don't want to watch, you know, a 44-minute long video, I understand. Listen, thank you for hanging out with me this long. I love all of you. I hope that you please hit that like and subscribe, because the YouTube algorithm likes all that fun stuff. Even a couple comments in the offline videos, if you can, would mean the world to me, because the YouTube likes all that fun algorithm nonsense. So if you guys can do that, thank you so much for those of you who have already done that. But if you want to watch this video with me, let's have some fun with the next part of the movie. This is going to be the end of the stream after this one, or maybe we're going to play a little bit of chess actually. Let's play a little bit of the chess after this one. Let's watch this video though.
That allows them to nail the market environment virtually each trading session.
Playback speed, let's go 1.5 for now.
Can be systematized to allow any dedicated trader to learn how to do it relatively easily. In this video, you'll learn the exact system from an amazing presentation, one of our most
Trying to find Obi, chat. You guys can see Obi? Is that Obi? That's Obi. That's Obi. Or that's Obi. No, that can't be Obi.
seasoned traders did at our live.
No, that's not Obi.
Conference in New York City. I'm Mike Bellafiore, and we're one of the top proprietary trading firms located in New York City since 2005. And
painting the exterior of my house listening. Ooh, what color are we painting it, Victoria? Let me guess. Beige grayish color.
Proud to develop number 7 and even 8-figure per year traders. Watch, take notes, and learn from a professional trader on our trading desk so you can grow your trading account.
So now that I've almost lost my voice from talking to so many amazing people last night and today, I'm going to give my presentation.
Maybe not.
So I probably should have called this something else, actually. I've been thinking all day about this. I'm like, this is a terrible name for this presentation. I probably should have called it, you know, how to have a comprehensive bird's eye view of the entire market while you're trading, right? So something like that, because that's really what we're talking about here. We're talking about having vision. Now, how many people here trade futures? Raise your hand. All right, so a lot of people. So how many of you who trade futures trade the market indices, right? The ES, the NASDAQ, or if you trade the Qs or SPY? Okay, that's a lot of people. So how many people trade individual names? Raise your hand if you trade stocks. Awesome, me too. How about currencies? Anyone trade currencies? Okay. Yeah, that's awesome. What about bonds? Anyone trade bonds? Really? You do? All right, well now I know who the smartest person in the room is. So it doesn't matter what you trade, there's always a big picture element to it. So I want you to think back to Dr. S's talk this morning, right? It seems like a week ago at this point. Think back to when he was talking about having a big picture understanding of the market, thinking about what big money is doing and how it's moving the market, who's in the market, right? He's looking at the NYSE tick, which is a market internal. And you know, Dr. S actually taught me a lot about what I know about this stuff. Okay, so many hours in his office picking his brain about what he knows about assessing the market, what he's learned from hedge funds, what he's picked up, right? And obviously it's a lot, as you guys saw this morning. So if you guys have any questions about this afterwards, don't ask me, ask Dr. S. And then think back to Carlton's talk when he's talking about different market environments, right? And we go through phases where we have momentum and where things are moving, and we go through phases where the market consolidates, right? We have bear markets, we have bull markets, right? And Justin mentioned this too, right? This is a common thread I've noticed through everybody's speeches, right? Where we have these playbooks, but sometimes these playbooks really, really work in a certain market environment, and sometimes they don't work in a certain market environment. So part of trading becomes understanding what environment we're in and which playbooks to dust off, right? You might not have traded this setup for a while, but now we're in a bear market, right? Or now we're cratering because of coronavirus. So there's going to be different dynamics going on. And so the reason that I watch these market internals is because I want to know, to the best of my ability and quickly and accurately, right, without spending too much energy understanding it, what's happening in the overall market. Because unlike some of you who trade futures, I'm not trading the overall market every day. But I might be trading an NVIDIA breakout. I might be hawking, you know, a short in SMCI or looking for Microsoft to make a move. And I mean, how many people here have been looking for, say, that Microsoft breakout, right? And it makes a little move off the open, and it looks strong for a second, and you're so sucked in to the ticker that you're trading that you don't realize that, you know, 80% of the NASDAQ stocks are down on the day, right? That consumer staples are the strongest sector in the market. Semiconductors are weak. And that, you know, probably, because of all of these things together comprehensively, it's probably not.
Gotta keep an eye out on the other things too. Sometimes
So
the trades
even if
that you want to
indices,
move are just not moving.
I think that this stuff is really useful. I think it's especially useful when you're trading individual names. And then, when everything aligns, sometimes, I will trade the indices.
That's
right?
when you smash the trigger.
Or if we get into an environment like COVID, where all of a sudden now volatility is
Like
high
one
and
on
it's correlated
Thursday, I
with
think, when
trading,
ADD was
so
at
now we
500.
can trade the indices, and Steve mentioned this, right? Like when volatility is elevated, correlation is high, ranges are bigger, right? Everything's doing the same thing, and everything's trading extreme ATRs. Then, you know, trade SPY, right? But that's a normal situation in that environment. And so what I want to do is I want to talk a lot about this market that we're in right now, because I know that some of you have seen some of the videos that we've done on market internals. I don't want to spend too much time defining these things because there's videos that go into detail defining them. I will, for those of you who don't know. But I really want to apply this to the market that we're in. So let's just start off with what are market internals, right? So it kind of is what it sounds like. It's looking inside the market in different ways to see what's happening, okay? Rather than just looking at the price chart of SPY or the price chart of the NASDAQ. We're looking at the individual names. We're looking at the breadth, right? That's the first thing. And that's measuring participation. We want participation behind a move if we're going to look for follow-through. We want most of the stocks to be participating in this move if we want a broad market rally. All right, and we're going to talk about kind of what this means in this market as well. The other thing we look at is tone. All right, tone is the risk appetite in the market on any given day, right? And this will go back and forth, right? Sometimes the risk appetite is high, right? Growth stocks are breaking out. Bitcoin is running. And maybe consumer staples, which is a safer group, is lagging behind, right? That's an example of when there's risk appetite in the market and we get a certain kind of tone for the day. And one of the things we look
JF
at
Trader,
always
thank
are
you
the
for the
market
sub.
themes and the leadership, because that's going to tell us a lot about the tone, how those leaders are acting, right, based on the theme that's happening in the market. So what's the theme right now that's been happening all year? Anyone know? Yeah, AI, semiconductors, right? So I could probably just end this talk right now and just be like watching video every day. But that's this environment. And so sometimes we get into different environments where that's not the case, okay? So can anyone guess out of these things what seems to be the most important thing in this environment?
WrestleMania Day
Right?
2.
Is it market breadth,
All right.
or is it the tone? Yeah. Yeah, and not that breadth isn't important. Like it's everything together that I'm looking at. But I get a lot of questions because I'll talk about these market internals, and people will come to me and they'll say, but the VOLD ratio was 2.
You excited for this
and I
week,
tried to
JF?
get long,
What are you looking at
how-
this
how
week?
come, like the market didn't do anything.
Right
And
now, we're
everything
just watching
together,
the JF,
these are just
sorry, not
variables,
JF,
right?
the
Anytime
S&B
we're looking at
Capital
variables in the
Summit
market,
video that they posted on YouTube.
We're just taking in information. It's just math, right? And it's important because every single trade has variables. Like you just saw from Max, right, outlining like his amazing trades, right? And it's like he's not a quant. He's not doing anything, you know, fancy like
We
that.
got
He
the
still
lights
has very,
fixed,
very
chat.
specific trade
You guys
variables for all of
noticed
his
that.
trades, right? And so that's what these are. These are environmental variables. Now, just because we have a variable now and we can look and see a value, it could be 2, it could be 3, and I'll go over these in a second, does not mean that there's a trade. And I really want to emphasize that. Sometimes these market internals are telling me that the market is choppy and it's probably going to do nothing, and I should probably either find something in play, right, or I should go do some coding or something like that, right? So just because we know this stuff,
Coding?
read the market, doesn't mean, right, that we're going to try to
Garrett codes?
figure out every turn in the market.
Okay,
Like our
Garrett,
job
I
as
see
traders
you.
is not to predict every move.
Ah,
It's
my
not to
knee.
just figure out the market completely.
Trying to fix my brace here.
I mean, that's so impossible, right? To know everything that's going to happen. So that's not what this is about, right? Our job as traders is to wait for when things are extremely clear to us based on our playbook, And when those things become very clear, we put the appropriate risk on, and then we manage the trade according to our rules. So let's talk about market breadth first, and I'm going to define these fairly quickly and then get into examples, because I know that most of you probably want to just get into some examples from this year and just talk about that stuff, right? So we're going to talk about market breadth first, and there's a hierarchy to how I look at this stuff. So there are 3 things that we look at, and they're right here on the screen. So I start with the Vold ratio.
Bold ratio. I don't know that. I know the other
This
two.
is the main context, okay? And we're going to define this in a second, right? The advanced decline line, right? That's the most dynamic market internal, and it's going to highlight when the Vold ratio might be subject to changing or whether it's going to hold. And then we have the tick, which is going to be the most immediate and reactive market internal. So let's talk about the Vold ratio. So the Vold ratio is the total volume of the up stocks in the market.
Total
divided by the
volume
total
ratio,
volume of the
green
down
stocks to red stocks ratio. Extremes matter.
The way I look at this,
A
is it's
ratio
kind of
of
like the
greater than
barbell for
3
the
to
overall
1
market.
equals potential
Look at SPY and the
trend.
Qs, usually
A
you're
ratio
not
of
gonna see
lower
a lot
than
of
2
R-vol,
equals
right?
higher
It's
like
just
of
a
chop
estimate.
and range
You're not gonna get
rest
the
of the
same kind of
dream.
R-vol readings that you
Okay.
get on an AMD or NVIDIA or something like that.
So that
And
might be
so
helpful for
when I
like the
look at
choppy
Vold, I'm
days
looking
on the
for it to paint a
market.
picture
The choppy
for,
days of the
is
market where the
in
market
play?
is doing
And is
this,
there
but
heavy
if the
selling or heavy
market
buying in
really
the
just
market, or is
going
it
off in one direction.
So I look at it at the actual value of this, and extremes matter. So anything over 3 gets into the extreme area. Anything below -3, right, to the downside, right? So if it's -3, for example, that means there's 3 times as much volume flowing into the down stocks on the day as there are up stocks. And we're looking at the NYSE exchange or we're looking at the NASDAQ exchange. If it's 5, +5, that means there's 5 times as much volume flowing into the up stocks than there are the down stocks, okay? And this is going to be the slowest market internal to change. So while it's the most powerful
Ooh,
and sort of
NASDAQ has a
contextual
Vold.
variable, if the market completely reverses, the Vold is going to sort of be like the last to the party. So like I like to think of it like if you play chess, the king is like the most important piece, but like it has a tough time moving, right? So here's some examples. So here's some examples from this year, okay? This was a very extreme Vold reading day, okay? We had like -10 to -25. And I think somebody came to me today and actually brought up this day. Now, this is not a trend day, and not all of these are trend days, right? A lot of times on trend days, all of these things are aligning, and we can really capture these moves. But sometimes we're just seeing heavy selling in the market, and we're not getting a trend day. We just know that there's heavy selling in the market. And so on a day like this, when we take out highs in the morning, and we're seeing -10 Vold readings, an extreme number to the downside, there's no way I'm paying through highs of the morning for a breakout, thinking that we're going to like fill the gap to the upside. And if you know what, if that happens, I'm going to miss the trade, and I'm totally okay with that, right? And again, I might not be trading the market on this day, but this is letting me know that overall, there's a lot of selling pressure in the market. And this is a 5-day picture, okay? You can see the extremeness of it just looking at the 5-day picture, okay? So here's another day. We get a gap down, right? And on any gap down, and this is a sizable one, we can expect to have extreme negative Vold readings because most stocks should be red, right? And if we get a big gap, there should be a lot of volume flowing into those stocks. So what happens here? We open up, and the Vold reading is completely neutral.
Vold
In
is
fact,
like
it actually starts to hold positive while it's still in that opening range.
Histogram
And so a lot of times when this
within the
happens,
QQQ.
and you're looking for continuous
Huh. Yeah, I don't know about this random indicator made by some random person, but might be something there to take a look at.
continuation to the downside, and you see that the Vold is completely neutral. There's barely any reason for the market to be down at this point.
Remember to do cold and hot compress
course,
on
in
your
this
knee,
case,
bro. It
the Vold
helps a
break
lot
out
with your
opening range
pain.
upside, also
Actually,
pull
the
back,
doctor
pull back,
said
pull
don't
back,
do
pull
hot
back.
because it messes with
This is a
the
situation where we get a gap,
inflammation.
we
It
don't
causes
see that.
blood flow and causes inflammation
Here's
more.
a
The cold is
extreme positive
better.
breath day.
Compression is
We try to break
better.
lows,
I do
we
have
can't go lower,
my
and we reclaim. Again, it's not a trend day, and I wanted to show these because
do
I
have
like
my
to show really
brace on.
clean,
My
opportunistic
knee
days
is
when it
a
comes to
lot
the
better
indicators.
though. Like I am
So
at
videos
90%
become-
mobility.
I
I
really
can
wanna show
stand
how
on
some
that
trades
leg
are
100%
less
solely
clear.
on that leg
Just because
without
we have a
even
lot of
using my other
information
leg for
doesn't mean
support.
there's a trait.
I'm at
So like for instance on this day,
insane
we have really
recovery. I
strong
might
Vold
be
readings. That means
actually
3 to 4.5
Wolverine.
times
Like
as many,
for a
as much
dislocated
volume flowing
knee,
into the upside
for the
and as
patella
much
popping
volume
out
flowing
and
into the
popping
downside
back
on the day.
in.
So when we take out lows, if I was looking somehow for a
For
short,
a patella popping out and popping back in, that was actually insane recovery in my opinion. I mean, not that I know what I'm talking about, but insane recovery.
The volume is all to the upside.
I woke up in bed with my leg fully flat out, which was not even possible a day before. So, I mean, beautiful recovery. I'm praying that this recovery stays that way. And I am back to normal very soon. But I still have, after I woke up, I still had a little bit of pain, a little bit of immobility walking down the staircases and so on. So that one's still a little pain there. But I am right back to being almost back to normal.
Very extreme reading. So it's not just extreme, it's pinned there and it won't move. And I'll show an example of that. And then the inverse, of course, is when it opens
X Factor healing patio.
All the way back to neutral in the first half hour.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it might just be Wolverine, man.
So here's that same really weak vol day, but here's the advanced decline, and it's stuck at like -2,000 all day. Right? You can see how extreme that is. Right? That's not the kind of day where I'm going to be going long. And then here we have that same gap down where we open up with pretty positive advanced decline readings where I'm not going to be playing for continuation to the downside. And again, we have that same strong advanced decline day where we can't break down. And here we have our trend day, positive 1,500. All right, so the tick, the difference between the number of stocks trading on an uptick and trading on a downtick. This is an immediate indicator telling us how much selling or buying pressure is in the market right now. And we can look at patterns here as well. Holding above 0 or holding below 0 is what I love to see on a immediately. It trades all the way back to neutral in the first half hour.
What the hell is that?
On a gap that we might not get a trend day. So here's that same really weak vol day, but here's the advanced decline, and it's stuck at like -2,000 all day. Right? You can see how extreme that is. Right? That's not the kind of day where I'm going to be going long. And then here we have that same gap down where we open up with pretty positive advanced decline readings where I'm not going to be playing for continuation to the downside. And again, we have that same strong advanced decline day where we can't break down. And here we have our trend day, positive 1,500. All right, so the tick, the difference between the number of stocks trading on an uptick and trading on a downtick. This is an immediate indicator telling us how much selling or buying pressure is in the market right now. And we can look at patterns here as well. Holding above 0 or holding below 0 is what I love to see on a trend day. It's a huge tell. It's very rare, but sometimes it will hold above 0 all day on an uptrend day. And you'll get a few of those ticks maybe below and right back up. Right? We can also see changes of character in the market through ticks. And of course, we want to see extreme.
Did you link this video? No, yeah, I'll put it in the chat right now.
Or consistent -1,000 ticks to the downside. And like Dr. S said, if you get those negative ticks consistently, but price can't go down, you do often see a reversal back to the upside. Right? So this is just extra information. So here's the tick with a cumulative tick below it, which I really like to put on my charts because it helps me understand where generally the tick is trading. Right? So if it's trending to the downside, that cumulative tick, those bars down there, they're building out to the downside. That means that the tick is generally holding below 0. And you can see this point in time during the day where after we took out the high and failed to go higher, the tick then held below 0 extremely cleanly on that entire down move. Okay, and then we had that little rally into the close where you can see the tick change character. And here's a day that I wanted to throw in because it's so interesting to me, and you'll see this sometimes. We were having a completely neutral day. The tick is just above and below 0, no extremes, nothing.
I use the ADD quite a bit. Advanced decliners. And then tick also.
And look at the tick.
Bold is something that I learned today, which was pretty interesting.
Extreme tick. And they sustain, right? So on a normal day, if we just kind of break lows, like I'm not going to hit lows in the market. But now that the tick is acting this way, like something's going on, right? So now all of a sudden it's holding below 0. Those ticks back up to 0 when they fail. You know, if you're a scalper, that's something that you can use to find those entries, those pullbacks in that downtrend in the afternoon as the market breaks down. And of course, like here's the classic trend day example of the tick. This is my favorite thing. This is like a thing of beauty. I like dream of these at night. I mean, look at how many ticks are below 0. It's like barely any. I mean, that's real buying pressure all day long. And it doesn't always look like this. So when it does, I think that adds an incredible amount of edge to a trade. If you bought this at the open, you might use that as a variable in order to hold the trade, right? Turn it into a trade to hold. If you buy it in the afternoon, you will have seen all of this information leading up to this point, knowing that if I buy this afternoon consolidation, in order for a move into the close to close at highs, the tick needs to continue holding 0 as it's done all day long. And here's another example, and you can probably barely tell that I changed the slide because they all look the same. And that's what's so great about these. All right, so tone. This is the big thing right now. I already talked about how it's all about risk appetite, right? And the way we do this is we look at leadership, we look at themes, and we look at offensive sectors versus defensive sectors. So think back to what Dr. S was saying about rotation in the market, right? Like what's in play, what groups are in play, what sectors are in play, where is money rotating in and out of. A lot of that can tell us about the tone. And I don't want to have to look at 20 different spider ETF charts and try to figure out, like a fund manager, like exactly what's happening with all these ETFs, right? Because I'm trading my setups. Like I'm trading an individual stock that has its own setup, its own variable, and it might be affected by the market. So I want to create indicators that tell me instantly what's going on because I don't want to spend too much energy worrying about all this stuff that is affecting my trade. So let's talk about some of this stuff. So one of the things that I like to do is I use an ETF filter. All right, and I also like to use an offense-defense line, which I'll show you in a second. I'll show you how I built it. And then, of course, I look at individual names. Super simple, right?
Trade Ideas has a really good ETF filter. They have a market depth scanner that tells you exactly what markets are moving and so on.
I want to know what's in play. Is it semiconductors, right? Especially right now. I want to know what the offensive sectors are doing, and I'll go over those in a second. I want to know what the defensive sectors are doing, and I'll go over that in a second. And of course, we have our thematic asset class ETFs too.
There you go.
That change depending on.
You see what sectors popping off. So you see what stocks are moving. Market scope dashboard.
I'll show you my ETF in a second.
Sector scope 360.
Stocks, we look at technology,
you see exactly what stocks are moving and what sector they're moving, what sector's up, what sector's down. You can pull up that sector's chart right away. You can also see them advanced decliners right here. You can see how many stocks are advancing, how many stocks are declining, and so on. You can see it on a race view, how many stocks, what ETF is actually more
toilet paper and toothpaste
relatively stronger than the other in the sectors over here. The stocks that are at the highest at the leaderboard over here that have won the most races will keep on collecting the wins, and you will just have to maybe pull up the scanner once and you see like, oh, XLU and XLK have won quite a bit of the races. Actually, XLE looks like they're going to win a race very soon. So you can use Trade Ideas once again, code right below in the description. This scanner is 15 minutes delayed for free that you can use on their website, or you can pay for it and get a nice little 15% off by using code PRAD15 and get no longer 15-minute delay. I feel like I've said 15 so many times, at least 15 times.
Because I think it's eventually going higher. So here's
this ETF filter.
I take a basket of ETFs. It's going to be more ETFs than you're probably going to want to use, and you can just use the ones that I just went over. I sort them by RVOL to see what's in play. So if like semiconductors are in play, if tech is in play, I want to know that. I sort them by percent change from open, so I can see what's the strongest today. Like since the open, what is getting bought, what is getting sold, right? Like Dr. said, like what are those funds doing? What's the big money doing? And then of course absolute change, which tells me what is making the biggest moves. So
Michael Noss on Twitter has a amazing talk about sectors every week. He talks about sector scans, market scans, and so on. Go check him out on Twitter.
How I read the market on these days. So
Michael Noss, CMT.
It wasn't a powerful, strong uptrend, but it was a trend day, right? It opened at the lows, it closed at the highs. So, I mean, the bold is negative. The advanced decline was like okay, right? It's nothing crazy. So what was happening on this day? So I tweeted out at 10:02 that breadth is not that great today, probably because of IWM, but be aware that this is a mega cap tech day. So look at Meta and Amazon for tone. Meta and Amazon had earnings on this day. They both reported tremendous earnings reports, and they were gapping way up, and they were holding their gaps, right? And in this market, tone is everything. Here was my ETF filter on the day at 10:17.
10:17.
Technology is the strongest sector in the market, and it's doing RVOL. QQQ is up there, SMH is up there, and of course XLC is up there with Meta. So we have a risk-on tone in the ETF filter. We have individual names like Meta breaking to all-time highs on incredible volume, Amazon breaking to new highs on higher than average volume, and following through, and then to throw into the mix, NVIDIA breaking out of a 5-day range. So while the breadth wasn't that great, this was all happening. And so in this market, this rally has been on fairly narrow breadth, but with incredible leadership, which has been enough. And so that's why the tone is so important. That's why we watch these leaders, and we keep track of the ETFs. So one of the ways that you can do this is to look at the Magnificent Seven. And there's an ETF called MAGS that you can track to do this. I wouldn't trade this. It's too thin, but I would look at it as an indicator. And what you can do, and of course, Magnificent Seven, you know, the 7 mega caps, right? We should probably kick Apple and Tesla out of it pretty soon, but you know, it's the 7. And then you compare it to VTI, which is all the stocks in the market. And you can put them on a relative strength line on any given day, and this is that same day, and you can see that MAGS was extremely stronger than the rest of the market on this day. So offense versus defense, how do we do this? I showed you those offensive sectors and the defensive sectors. So what I'll do is I'll take the 3 offensive sectors and I'll turn them into one ETF, right? You can just add them up, and then take the defensive sectors and turn them into an ETF of themselves, and you just add those up, and then you divide one by the other, and you get a line. And you can actually normalize this with ATRs to make it even more accurate if you want, but that's a little bit besides the point.
Yeah, this is a little too much for
to make an offense
most
versus
traders.
defense line, where if the line is above 0, offensive sectors are outperforming defensive sectors and vice versa. Right? You plot them
This
against
maybe
each other.
helps
Here's
you
the line,
stay
here's
away
that same
from
day.
the weaker
We're gonna see
sectors
the
and
offensive
so
sectors
on
as a
if you
whole are
trade
outperforming
sectors or
the
if you
defensive
trade
sectors.
like
Okay.
overall
Of course, we're not gonna
market
name
and
names,
so on.
right? We track the current theme, as you guys already said. It's AI, it's semiconductors in this market.
But I guess
What are
this
the
helps
market
you
leaders?
find
So we look at
individual
Nvidia, we
stocks
look
and
at
individual sectors that are
some
moving
size
around.
of
Why
it.
is that sector hot? What's
Even
moving
something
around
like
in that
ASML
sector?
that I don't
Why
trade
is
a
it
lot,
so
others don't
hot? Find the news. You can wait for the
is a
pullback,
proxy
join the
because it's one of the
trend,
biggest
so
semiconductor
on. So a lot
sort
of
of
things
leading
over
stocks,
there that you could
right?
use to
So here are a
kind
bunch
of
of
help
days,
you in
and
day
we'll look at
trades and
everything
so
together
on too.
kind of bring it all
Like
together. So on the
maybe
right
you'll
is
see
a
random
5-minute
day
chart
gold
of
is
2 days
going
showing
off,
gold,
and you'll see a
histogram,
gold stock
and
going
advanced
up
decline.
along with it, and then
And
you'll
then on
be
the
like,
left is an
oh, the
intraday
overall
2-minute
market's
chart
not
with a tick.
moving.
So this is the same day,
I'm
this is
focused
how I
on
look at these. Gold very
semiconductor
good,
stocks.
this is
They're not giving me a
So here we have a day
trade,
where we have
so
pretty
maybe
strong
I go
gold
and
ratio,
look for the
right?
sectors
Actually
that
very
are
strong, 3-4.
active, find the stocks
We have an
within the
advanced decline with
sector that
rising
are
starts out fairly
active, see
neutral, but
why
quickly
they're
gets to like
moving,
50,
and then you can
2000.
join
It's a
that
very strong
party.
advanced
So
decline.
you can use this
And a
to
very
help
strong
you
tick.
along with all
So
those
this is the
tools. Pretty
ingredients of
good
the trend.
video overall. I
Often
mean,
this is
I like
exactly what
it.
we'll see when
And
we
I'm
get a
glad
trend
that we
day.
were
And to me,
watching
like,
this
is where
on
big opportunity
2.5
comes in
speed,
trading
or
the
should I
overall
say
market.
1.5
Or
speed,
trading a breakout
because
in an
my
individual
boy
name while this is
Garrett,
happening. And so what else was happening on this day? Well, this is
how
the Nvidia
slow would
500
have this
breakout that
been?
everybody was talking about today. So I'm actually going to be trading this on a day like this. And if we're talking about
Look how much
tone,
slower
like
that
this
feels.
was-
So
this
I'm
is the
glad that
tone.
we watched this at
It's Nvidia breaking
1.5,
out.
because I feel like we would have been
Kinda
here
like a chicken
forever
and egg
watching
in the
this
market,
video.
right? Because this happened, or
Good scatter makes a
maybe.
difference.
You
Damn
had
right,
Nvidia
no-till.
breaking out
And
in
you know
volume
where the good
and
scatters
trending
are.
everywhere.
I've already said it enough
So
times.
here's another day.
Trade
I think this is
ideas.
unclear, and this kinda goes back to,
Description
like, we don't have to
below.
trade everything.
Check
We
it
don't have to
out.
always
The
look at
link's
charts
down
and
there.
things, but there
Use
was enough
code
information to figure it out on this day.
PRAD15 to get
So the gold was
15%
like
off.
kind of negative in the morning. The advanced decline was like kind of negative, and then they shaped up into the afternoon. The tick was messy until the afternoon, right? The morning was very confusing, and this was a trend day, but very confusing in terms of the overall breadth of the market. But what was happening on this day? SMCI breaking out, and 6 other growth mega cap tech stocks and ETFs were breaking out to new 52-week highs on this day. So again, the tone is huge in this market, and just tracking these leaders and what they're doing has been informing these trends.
Wise, I've tried way
course,
too
if we look
many
at the offense, defense
indicators. Well,
line
I
on the
guess
same
like
day,
it's
we're
okay
getting
if
the
you've
same
had
picture
to use
where
way too many
the offensive
indicators.
sectors
You know,
are
everyone goes through that
outperforming the
journey of
defensive
using
sectors.
100 million
Technology is leading
indicators
the
and
way,
then diving
and
down to a
nobody's
few.
buying
And
utilities.
I think, you know, you gotta have
And
at
then,
least
of course,
2 or
one more
3
day, this is a little
different
bit
type
better.
of indicators
At
that
least
are telling you
everything's
different things.
Still a little
You
bit
know,
messy, right?
volume
If I
is
were
a
to cherry
big
pick
thing
you
that
guys
you
with
gotta
the Asian trend
use.
day, like if
VWAP
you
is a
see
big
charts,
thing that you
I'm
gotta
showing you
use, in my opinion.
I'm just showing you
Along
something
with
this
that,
year
you might
because
want
I
to use a
really
couple
wanna show
other
that, like,
things
with
that
trading,
can
like,
help
not
you
everything
with
is always
timing your entries,
But we
or a
do have
couple
enough
things that
information.
can help
Like,
you
the
with
tick is doing
finding
great.
a stock that's
The US
holding
stuff, so
its
that's what happened.
trend
Amazon
for
breaking
allowing
out
you
to
to
new highs,
exit better,
Microsoft
to
was
hold
breaking out
with the
to
trend
new
and
highs,
so
Nvidia
on.
was
So
breaking out to
I
new
have a
highs,
couple
SMCI was
indicators.
breaking out
We
to
can
new
actually
highs.
talk about that right
And
now.
of course, the
Let's
offense-
pause this video real quick. For example, let's go to a random stock that I probably haven't charted at all. Let's go to Birkenstock, 5 minute. You can see how I have the yellow line, which is the last week's VWAP. I have the red line, which is daily VWAP. Then I have the EMAs, which is 4 of them. I have the 9 EMA, the 21 EMA, the 50 EMA, and the 100 EMA. The 9 and the 21 help me find the trend of a stock if I'm long, for example. What was a stock that was really trendy recently? Maybe we go to DXYZ. This one will help you understand what I'm talking about. So you can see how DXYZ never really broke that 21 EMA until here. So if you got in long somewhere over here, it never breaks it until $54, and that gives you a good $10 long and so on. So I have a couple EMAs, a couple tools that help me with holding stock for the trend profit, couple tools that help me time my entry for the long and so on, and a couple other indicators that help me understand the structure of the day for the stock and so on. So I have 4 or 5 indicators myself too, but you don't want to have way too many will obviously just make either your entry too slow because you're looking for too much confirmation across the board, or you're looking for that magical holy grail where a lot of traders get stuck into 90% of the time, the holy grail indicator. They try all the indicators until one works. They go, oh my god, this might be it, and then it dies out, and they go, this one sucks, and they go to the next one, they go to the next one, they go to the next one. You gotta understand what the indicator does, why people use it, what's the importance of it, and then see how it can help you in your overall structure within your playbook. So if you don't even have a playbook to begin with, then just playing around with indicators isn't going to get you anywhere. You got to have a playbook first, understand what your playbook is telling you, what type of stocks you need to scan for, what type of tools will help you scan that, and then you can go around building a scanner, you can go around building the tools for it and everything. So you gotta understand exactly, like Brutus said, you know, if you're building a house, it helps to have the right tools to build the house, but even before you go ahead and get the tools to build the house, first you gotta have the plan, the house plan, the building plan, the AutoCAD layout of the house itself. This is where the closet is. This is where my gaming room is. This is where my wife will kick me out anytime we get into an argument and I will have to sleep here. This is where my kids play. This is where I get drunk and I throw my Xbox around the room whenever I get yelled at by a 12-year-old for being bad at Call of Duty. So you gotta have a housing plan. Go ahead and then get the tools and the bricks and so on to lay down the house, right? So no plan,
and then you get that
all the tools in the world, you're not going to get anywhere with it.
Rally, right? So that's an example of a market where breadth really matters. And when we backtest this stuff, it can really help improve models in difficult volatile environments like that. But right now, I would encourage everyone to like track the tone like we kind of laid out and stuff like that. Every market's different. And so I just track this stuff every day and I review it and I keep it in a Notion. And that allows me to go back
I use
study
Notion
this stuff and study how the market's changing. Questions?
So I've been using the ETF filter pretty regularly. And sometimes there's a nuance. And is that the reason you started putting that into an advanced decline to get more of a binary answer? So it's like,
I see Obi.
Sometimes you'll get like,
I see Obi.
You started putting that in really. And sometimes
I see Obi.
There's a nuance. And is that the reason you started putting that into an advanced
Wait.
decline to get
That might not be Obi.
So it's like
That might not be Obi.
Like some of too offensive and then maybe arc or
Wait.
It's kind of
Nah, that might not be Obi. He doesn't have glasses and he doesn't have long hair in the back.
I feel like
his hair is not knotted up.
In a different way. I really appreciate that Carlton was explaining this, but things are not always clear. Just because we have variables and we're good at tracking things, like does not mean that things are aligning. It can be messy, right? You could have tech and consumer staples leading on one day and everything in the middle, right? And there are neutral breadth days where probably Seth is probably the only one here of us who would be crushing these days because he's putting on like iron condors and stuff because the market's going to be a shit mess, right? So, you know, just because like things aren't perfect, like doesn't mean, you know, there's something wrong with it. It just means that, okay, like, you know what, either it's not clear to me or, you know, we might just be having like a neutral kind of day where, you know, we just might be in a range.
So you're an active trader, not doing as well as you want, not doing as well as you deserve.
So that's that, ladies and gentlemen. That was a pretty good video. How to understand market breadth a little bit more, really dissecting into, you know, exactly what the market understanding how to read the market for you futures traders might be very helpful. You might want to look at this video one more time. The link is right below in the chat. You might want to scroll up to it. So pretty good using extra tools like the VOLD indicator, VOLD, the advanced decliners indicator, and the tick indicator. So 3 little tools over there at our disposal. You also have scanners that can help you find the sector that's more important in play at the moment. You know, you might be busy with the semiconductor or the crypto sector, but they might not be moving right now because people might be rotating into other sectors. So maybe that's where you got to go focus on the day trade instead of elsewhere, right? There's also other ways that you can spin it around going, hey, you planned for this trade in the semiconductor stock. It didn't set up for today. Maybe no trade for you. You just stay away from it and you wait for the other thing. That's also a very valid argument, right? No setup for you to trade with. You don't go around dicking around in other setups. You wait for your setup. But nothing wrong with trying other setups in a simulated platform, in a paper trading account. Build your playbooks, build your tool sets, build your skill sets, right? So go ahead and open up a paper account, log into your paper account, try other systems, try other setups, track them, understand where they're losing, understand where they're winning, and then eventually you'll be able to transfer that into your live account and so on. So always keep building, always keep improving, at least by 1% than you were last night. That's the only goal that you have as a day trader. Let it compound on itself. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we've been doing that, but sadly failing to do that on this very next task, which we're going to try and do again. So most of you probably know exactly what that task is already. Let's get started. You guys know where we're going. I'm gonna put a poll up, start the poll. Let's see what you guys say. We're gonna start with some puzzles today. Okay, hopefully I didn't do all the puzzles for today. I didn't. Okay, black to move. Okay, black to move. Okay, white to move. Huh. Okay, white to move. No queen. Check. White to move. Let's go. Angry. Let's go. Highest rating we did so far was 590. That's not bad. That's not bad. Puzzle rush. 5-minute puzzle rush. White to move. Black to move. White to move. White to move. Black to move. White to move. White to move. Where's the king? Oh shit. White to move. What? Okay, black to move. Black to move. Okay, that was right. Okay, good. Black to move. Oh. That was pretty good. Then the highest we did was 647. Is that the rating of the puzzle, or is that the... I'm guessing that's the rating of the puzzle. The highest puzzle rating we did was 647. Slow down a little. Okay. Hey, I did pretty good though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in a row. I lost 3 in a 5-minute time period. I have to do the most I can do in a 5 minutes. Dude, for someone who started playing this game 2 days ago? Come on. That was amazing. Daily puzzle. Okay, okay. White to move. I lose my queen. I lose my queen. I lose my queen. I can't take pawn because he just comes down there. I can't take queen because he comes down here. H7. H7. Huh? But then why didn't he just take my queen? Whoa. Why wouldn't you just take that and put me back in check? All right, I would come down here. Okay, anyways. I didn't understand some of those moves there. So it was white to move. No, it wasn't that. It was this. No, it was... What was it again? I don't understand that. Anyways, we're just gonna go play a game. My brain's all puzzled from that one. The goal is to win a game a day. Okay, we're 353 ranked. Horrible. Moves a pawn, attack the pawn. He's gotta strengthen his pawn by moving these down. Or he moves this or that. Okay, that makes sense. If I move this here, I give him a free pawn, but then I can attack him. But then he can attack me, so that doesn't make sense. So we move... We move him. And then we can move this good guy to strengthen. I don't know how, but maybe move him later. Okay. He's not attacking anything. Diter's beats are insane, chat. Okay, that's what I thought. Pussy boy, run your blood clot back. Ooh. But he is not defended. Oh, he is defended. Okay, I don't need to worry about him no more. I don't need to worry about him no more. I don't need to. I don't need to. I get to threat hit the queen. I get to threat the queen, and some defense with my horse. And I got some defense with my horse. Yeah, my horses be roaring. I got some defense with my horse. I need to make a decision now. What do I do next, chat? Do I just take the queen here? That would be pretty stupid, wouldn't it? We advance the pawns, push the middle, advance the pawns, push the middle, advance the pawns, push the middle. Okay, that's dangerous. Okay, that's dangerous. Okay, that's dangerous. We gotta back that ass up. This kind of traps me here, but that still gives me defense. I die here. Useless here, but it gives me room for movement. Pretty useless here, pretty useless here. I like this room for movement, honestly. But this also gives me room for movement to attack the king later. We'll move him here for now with defense from here. Spoiler alert, what happened there? Hold up. If I move my queen, he goes, takes my horse. Well, he can't technically. But now I get to threat his queen without really being in danger. I have to think quicker. My time's running much faster than hers. Okay, develop, build, build, build. She has 2 pawns, I have nothing. Move bishop back. Who, this guy? Move him back here. He's kind of blocked now. I should have moved him back earlier. I knew it. I knew I should have moved him back earlier instead of blocking him in that corner. I fucked up. Oh, that was a waste of my goddamn move. That was a waste of a goddamn move. Fuck's sakes, dude. I'm cocked. I'm cocked. Oh! Oh, wow. I'm inting. I'm inting. I'm actually throwing. Oh, you bloody bastard. Okay, she threw. She threw. What? How's that not checkmate? Oh, the throws! Oh, the throws! Oh, I thought that was checkmate, bro. I don't want to waste the game review on that. Oh, the throws. Oh my god. The throws. We threw that so hard. Okay, we got this. We got this. We're not going to bed before we win a game. You guys know the rules. My bishop could have defended the knight. Oh, you're right. I could have. What's this guy's mission here? Lone warrior? Let's stop you in your tracks. Dieter, your beats are amazing! However, they make me lose. So maybe they're not as amazing as I thought they were. This gives me defense here, this gives me defense here, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't want to lose that. This gives me room to give him some room to walk around, and that defends him too, and this defends him, this defends him. He already has defense, but I think this defense is better than that defense because that only opens up this legway and that legway for him. This opens up this legway and defends the horsey. Am I thinking right that way, Angry? Is that the better move to have been made there? This defends my horse and it checks his king. And it puts his bishop at risk, but not really because his bishop is safe by the thing. But it baits his queen to kill me where I can take his queen. It baits it, which is a good trade. Good trade. But if he just moves this one over, he walks away from it. I don't take that. I could take that, but then I open up liability to myself. So I don't want to do that either. We could leave him here now because he is safe from there. Maybe we pull up one of these big boys now. Do I just take that? No, he can defend that. Maybe I go here. No, but then he can come back here and take that afterwards. Let's take out the horsies. Bring out the horsies. Let's threat the horsey that he has actually right there. Do I just take this? I just take that. I punish him for that, don't I? Wait, what? Oh, right. Huh. Huh. And I can't really threat him because he's there. I kind of fucked up there. Now I lost 2 pieces like that. That's amazing. Big blunder. Big blunder. Lost 2 pieces like that. Very 2 important, crucial pieces. Lost. The game's tides have been turned around, chat. That was a big move from him. Damn. I failed to recognize 2 attacks over there that he pulled off. That was a big play from him. That was actually huge what he just pulled off. Congratulations, buddy. We're gonna lose another game now, chat. Now I'm tilted. I'm tilted. I'm tilted. The 500 level bot is a good way to learn. Just fight the 500 level bot. Okay. Okay. Like the computer 500 level. Okay. That's pretty good tips. Now I trapped him up like I trapped him up last time. I should have brought him back even more. Fucked up. I should have brought him back all the way here actually. And threat him. I fucked up hard. Oh! I was trying to threat the fucking bishop there. I was trying to threat the bishop there. Oh my god, the blunders. You can call me TraderPrad. This cucklord, why would you block that? Fuck them queen files, dude. Nah, I don't care. I just don't know what the hell I'm doing. I just don't know what the hell I'm doing. It is a little stressful, but I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And I don't care if I'm making myself look like a fool, because I know at the end of the day I'm trying to improve. And every single time I play, no matter what, even if I'm playing off stream, I still make the same silly fucking mistakes anyways. We're just trying to improve. There should be a VLC app for this. Okay, that was a waste of his move, I think. Oh shit. Maybe that wasn't a good idea, huh? It's good. I'm glad I inspired you to shake the rust off. He fucked up so hard. He could have gone here, checked this, or had this for free. But instead, he went for the pawn over there instead. Big fuck up by him. I'm gonna fix that by taking... Well, I guess if he went there, I could have taken him here or take... Oh, shit. What's more important? That or coming back to defend that and take the queen? Taking this is more important, or coming back to take the queen and defend the rook is a little bit more important. But then we lose the horse. But if we take this right now... Huh? Oh yeah, we checked him by taking that, so he had to move. I check him again here, and he has to move back. Fuck it, move back, or move here. You can't, you have to move back. Or you can do that. But I can take this. Which I should. And you can take that. Then I come here. Then you take that if you want. I take this. Alright, you don't take that because you're a fucking moron. That's defended. Alright, I don't care. That's defended. Dumbass. He wasn't expecting to lose his queen like that. I promise you, he wasn't expecting to lose his queen like that. Oh shit, I could have castled, couldn't I? I could have fucking castled. No! Guy's a fucking moron. Actually, moron. I'm a bigger moron because I can't fucking get this win secured. Jesus fucking Christ, what do I do? He can take my horse. And my bishop. He can take my bishop. What am I doing? Oh. What was that game? Oh. I need a brain surgery after that game. I'm having a little brain aneurysm on that game. Holy smokes, that was insane. That game was something, chat. Thank you for sticking around for that whole game with me. We had some fun there, did we not? Thank you for the entertainment. That was something. Look, we're getting better. We're getting better as the day keeps going forward. We're still getting better. We just started, but I'm glad I was providing some form of entertainment. Hopefully, though, you guys got some good, valuable information before that whole chess nonsense with all that YouTube videos that we saw and some of the market talk that we did. A little bit of prep for tomorrow's watch list also. Mainly preparing for all things in the week to prepare for. Come back tomorrow, obviously, 8 o'clock, same time, same place. Maybe not same time, sorry, but same place, 8 o'clock tomorrow, Monday to Thursday, to talk about everything that's in store for the next day. Get ourselves ready for that beautiful watch list. This is all that it's real for tonight. Listen to what it says. I'm gonna head out. Thank you guys for hanging out.
Shout out to my affiliate sponsors, Benzinga, Trade Ideas, the #1 scanner to go to. Traders Think, promo code down below, promo code PRAD15 to get 15% off. I will catch you guys tomorrow, 8 o'clock, same time, same place. Until then, TraderPrad out. Adios.